In the heart of the wilderness, a wolf pack thrives, embodying a culture of unity, teamwork, and resilience. Wolves, like successful teams, understand the importance of clear communication and shared goals. Each member plays a unique role, contributing to the pack's strength. Just as wolves collaborate to hunt, a successful team collaborates to achieve its objectives. They move in sync, leveraging each other's strengths, and communicate to reinforce bonds within the pack. A team also finds strength in a shared vision, a common goal that resonates with every member. When wolves take turns leading the pack, a team must recognize the value of balance, promoting a healthy work-life dynamic. They demonstrate unparalleled loyalty and support when one of their own faces a challenge. A motivated team rallies together in times of adversity, providing unwavering support and encouragement. In the dance of nature, the wolf pack symbolizes the essence of teamwork. Just like these magnificent creatures, a united team can conquer any challenge, creating a culture that echoes the strength, resilience, and harmony of a wolf pack. When one eats, we all eat.
Welcome. Let me see. I'm trying to expand this a little bit where I can. Let me see. All right, there we go. All right, welcome, you guys. Am I able to see the chat here? I don't know how to see the chat here. Let me see. All right, well, welcome to the call, you guys. I don't know how to see the chat here, but anywho, I thank you all for joining, and I really just wanted to take a moment to kind of tell you a little bit about myself, what my journey has been, and what the heck? Okay, here we go. All right, so a little bit about myself and what my journey has been and why it was that I decided to join with Govvi. Well, you know, some of you guys may have followed my career. I've had some pretty interesting success. Hey, Gilbert, I see you. Thanks. I appreciate that. I can see the little comments now. Appreciate that. So, yeah, you know, I've had some pretty interesting success along the way. And I'm so grateful and thankful. But I think that, you know, as I share this part of my journey, I just want people to understand. When I tell my story, it is to encourage people, to show people that anything is possible in an opportunity like this, right? And for me, I'll start with saying that, you know, even though I've had success, I am very coachable and teachable. I am an absolute follower first. You know, leadership is everything, but nobody becomes a general, you know, at the point of joining anything, right? You got to learn. You got to learn what it takes to sit at the top. So though I've been a leader and I've had my successes, it is interesting. It is exciting for me to work with leaders who have more experience than I do, right? You guys know I've joint partnered with, you know, Belita Barrett, 30-year veteran, 3 generations of network marketing, and then you know, Kenny Lloyd, who has been massively successful and made, you know, record-breaking success. So for me, even though I like to be in the room with those who can teach me, because Lord knows I don't know it all. Even given the success that I've had, and in saying that, you know, I want to point out there's no secret to success other than hard work. You know, a lot of times I see people, they're looking for what's the special answer? Where's the special group? You know, what program can I use that's going to help me to be successful? And I can't say what works for somebody else. You know, that's not me. But what I will tell you is, for me, it was simple. I had just done 30 years in prison, right? I came home. I had no idea what my life would be. I was working at Hertz at the time. I was making about $480 a week. And, you know, and don't get me wrong, you know, I was looking at management. I thought that's where I would be. I proudly wore the uniform, whatever, right? But given the chance, once I saw the type of money that people were making in network marketing, once I realized that network marketing was the second highest paid profession besides some sports players in America, then it was like, okay, there's no ceiling. There's nothing that can stop you from going to your highest heights. And one thing about me, whatever I've ever done in my life, and I'm a South Central boy, went through it all, whatever I've ever done in life, I've never mind giving it my all. So when I saw this, I said, okay, look, at first, I'm going to be honest. I didn't want it. People didn't know. I had not told anybody I had been to prison because I didn't come home wearing it as a badge of honor, right? Not that I have anything to be ashamed of. And since I mentioned it, I will tell you what the charges were. It was bank robbery and attempted murder on police, right? Had two big shootouts and the whole bit. So it wasn't like it was some heinous crime I'm running from my past. I just needed to give myself a better future. And so having said that, I came home, I was, what was I, 50 years old? And at the time, I didn't know what my life would be. But I knew I was too old to think about going to go get a job and retiring, trying to go get a pension somewhere, thinking that was going to hold me through, right? So, but that was my reality. That's what I had done to my life. I had put my life at 50 years old at the same starting point as the average 20-year-old. But time shows no mercy, right? It is what it is. It was my life. So when I saw network marketing, I was like, wow, look at the money people are making. Look at how short a time it takes. So as is my pattern, I immediately started studying any and everybody around me that was successful. I'd be on social media day and night. I'm sleeping with the phone on my chest. I roll over after an hour or two of nap because that was another thing. Once I decided to get involved, see, I hadn't told anybody that I had been to prison. But once I decided, because I was like, oh man, that's that pyramid stuff, man. I ain't trying to go back to prison, right? So I had to call my PO and explain to her what it was I was considering. And then she had to get it clear with the judge because of the nature of my charges and whatever. And I'll say, so the mandate was given to me. I literally had 1 month to prove, because I told him I wasn't going to go to work anymore. It was during the pandemic. I didn't want to go back to work. So the judge gave me 1 month to prove that network marketing could supplement my income. What did that mean? That meant that I had to be able to earn $500 a week, and I had a month to prove it, right? So because I didn't have the luxury of saying, well, I don't have time, or I'll get back to it later, or I'm too busy with, no, I had to do it or go get a job, right? Okay, so my why was a lot different than just money. And then the fact that I'm older, I'm thinking to myself, like, I need to do something that's going to open doors for my life, because my body's not going to always be my paycheck. Like, I can't get out there and think I'm going to be out there running around cutting grass when I'm 70 years old. I got to figure out something here. And one thing about me, I'm not okay with just being okay. That's not my life. I've always lived at the highest of heights, and always, I wanted great things in my life. So I give you all that to say this. I joined on September 20th of 2020 was the day I joined in network marketing. No experience, barely knew how to use a cell phone, had just joined this app, Telegram. I had no following. All I had was the will to succeed. But see, here's this. What got me there was a woman, right? And it's crazy because I just got a message from her. We were just going back and forth. And but she was kind of my inspiration in this industry, because they kept inviting me to opportunity calls and whatnot. And I didn't have time. I was really busy and whatever. But the point is, I go to this woman, there's this beautiful woman there, and she's giving this presentation. And she says she's making $100,000 a month. I'm like, 100, yeah, whatever, right? $100,000 a month. Like, who you fooling, right? Well, at that moment, we were getting paid on Fridays. So she gets paid, shares the screen. Man, she just got paid $25,000. Like, what? Wait a minute. Whatever she's doing, I'm in, right? So that was my motivation. That's where it all began for me. And that I call it my birthday, September 5th, 2020. It was the day that I found what I was born to do. It was the day that I found what my life had prepared me for. I mean, if I took the time to tell you the whole story, I mean, I was telling one of my leaders, Jason Smith, the other night. He's like, man, how did you learn all this? He asked me, how did you learn all this stuff? I said, I've been doing this my whole life. See, it was the same thing. Network marketing is nothing but the expansion of reach and helping others. That's all it is. I think people make it too complicated. But for me, it's the same thing as being a hip hop star, a gang member, heck, a drug dealer, right? You want to first make a presence where you are and expand that reach by the connections that you make. And eventually, as you learn more, you have more to give. So I will say, it would took me 2 weeks. I think it was, I want to say 2.5 weeks. Let me give me 2.5 weeks that I had achieved the rank of 500 a week. And, of course, once that happened, you get that hunger. Once you start making money, you start trying to understand these things and trying to figure out how to make more money, right? So within 2.5 months, I had my first team. I had about 804 people, I think it was the actual number, within 2.5 months of joining the network market. And so, I would go on. I'll tell you, the moment that solidified it for me was January 9th, 2021. It was, we had the back office and it would update and it would tell you like when you achieve certain rank and what your paycheck would be. And it was on that day, January 9th, 2021. I had been in the industry, what was it? About 4 months. And that was the first time that I had achieved the rank of 10,000 a month. And I remember logging into my back office. And when I saw it, I lit me a cigar, I poured me a glass of Jack Daniels, and I sat in front of that computer and I cried like a baby. And my girl comes in, she's like, baby, you okay? And I, it was in that moment I thought about my journey. I thought about the soldiers on death row, the ones serving life, the ones still in the hood. And I just, I said to her, I said, man, nobody ever told me you can live a 6-figure lifestyle for making phone calls. All the stuff that we did in those streets to try and find a way to make a way. Nobody ever told me. I mean, I got dudes that's, doing life sentences on death row for far less money. So mindset has never been an issue for me. I would go on to achieve, some record success. I think the most notable success I had was in one company I joined. And this is an important point. So I will belabor this just a bit. When I joined in network marketing, I joined under someone, love her soul. But she had no experience either. Like her and her boyfriend had just gotten started. They had no experience in network marketing. They'd never done it before. I hadn't done it before. We didn't know anything. Like I didn't know anything about an upline, a 3-way call, or we had no training. But I kept hearing people say certain things that I disagreed with. Call everybody in your phone book. You never know who wants it. And I'm a very simple guy. And I told you, I started studying those that were doing great. And I'm thinking to myself, like, which one of them hit 6 figures by calling their family and friends? Like, make it make sense. And now, it's different. Your great grandma's sister's cousin may buy some deodorant to kind of support your business. Great, that happens, right? But at the time we were doing digital products, and I'm like, well, recruiting my great grandma's sister's cousin is not going to be the thing that's going to take me to 6 figures. And I'm trying to go to six figures. I'm not just here to make $1. That was never my mindset, right? So what I started to look for is, okay, I need groups of people, because like I tell you about the lady who was making she was making $100,000 a month. She had been doing it for 5 months in this particular company, and so she had a little over 5,000 people in her org. It's her group, and so I said to myself, okay, 5 months, 5,000 people. That ain't but 1,000 people a month. Easy. So I literally kept a piece of paper and I would take my number. I only need 250 people a week, right? How hard could that be? So I knew I couldn't find 250 myself, but this is network marketing. I've always been great at connecting with leaders. So I applied my skill set. I started reaching out to people who I saw who were having successes and or struggles, who were leaders of different groups. That way, when I had the phone call, it wasn't one person that joined me. It was 20, it was 50, it was 100. And I would keep that number so that if that week I fell short and I only had 220, well, that 30 carried over. That meant next week I needed 280, right? Now, I'm gonna be honest. In my head, it was a lot easier. The math was a lot easier than the actual work. Yeah, but that was my goal. You have to set the vision and make it plain and then go for it like it's yours, right? Your comfort zone, it say water seeks its own level. Your comfort zone is exactly what you expect. One of the things for me is when I hear a person join, they say, what's the subscription? That is a red flag for me. That is the first sign that me and this person needs to bond so I can show them a pathway forward. We are not here to spend money. We are here to make money. And so in that, I need to find a way that this is profitable, because it's like you go to work and when at the end of the pay period, you don't look at the fact, I mean, you may look at it and you may spend some focus, but when the government takes its taxes out, that doesn't become your main focus. Your main focus is what's left after taxes, right? Because the taxes have to come out. And so in there, you find your profit, and then from that, you pay your bills. Well, this is a business. And that's how I've always looked at the opportunity. It's never about what it costs. It's never about the subscription model, because every business costs. I don't care if you open a donut stand, right? You have to ask yourself, if I open a donut shop, that means I got to get a place. I got to do some advertisements. I got to buy whatever, materials to need. It's not going to come right off profitable. But you understand that once you spend your money to open that location, that you better get in there and you better work it until you can make it profitable. But you don't let the cost of opening your business preclude you or prevent you from wanting to go after your goals, right? So all that being said, I have had some pretty awesome successes, and I think I don't know if I told you the story, but so I joined this one person, and I'm going to belabor this point just a little bit, because even though she was a sweetheart, she was one of those people, very analytical. We all had that nature of really caring for people. But I am one of those leaders who's been from company to company. I know people like to belabor the point that they're not. Well, I'm one of those guys who has, right? And I've done well in just about every company I've ever joined, but that's not the point. I think that in the case of the story I'm telling, what I found was whenever we did make a transition, she had the mothery nature. So she wanted to read everything, study everything, be able to explain everything before she called a meeting with the leaders and explained what had occurred. Because a lot of times when we move from company to company, it's not because of chasing, the next shiny object. There was some struggle that we didn't see a pathway towards overcoming. And so we had to make a transition. But beyond that, there was this one opportunity that we were looking at. Some things that went really, really bad in a company that we were in. And literally, we had been in that company for 1 month. But things had gotten super bad, super quick. And so in that, there was some conversations. And she wanted to study this new platform. It was different. It was a binary instead of a trinary. Instead of 3-leg comp plan, it was a 2-leg comp plan. So it was a little different animal than we were used to. And so she and I told her, I said, look, not this time. Not this time. Because every time before, we done well. We done really well. But we were always the last ones in. We were always the ones having to bring up the rear and help everybody else make money, right? We made money too. No, I'm not, ignoring that fact. But in this, I told her, I said, not this time. Not this time. I need you to make a decision. Are you doing it or not? So she says, well, Wes, I'm not going. I said, look, if you don't, I am. So that was my first breakaway. She's like, well, you can go ahead and I'll take a look at it later. Cool. And I say that because timing and positioning does matter. It absolutely matters, especially for those that are willing to work. Now, timing and position don't mean nothing to the person that's not going to work. Let me be, because it's like when I joined and I was making that $5,000 a month, when I first hit that rank, there were 2,000 people above me who had not achieved what I achieved. So the timing and position don't mean much if you're not going to work, right? But if you're going to work and you really plan to go for that life change, timing definitely matters. So in that case, I made the leap. I went into a new company and I hit 10K in 5 days. I was making 10,000 a month. And then I hit 25K in 13 days. That's 25,000 a month. And so, and then I've had some other successes and whatnot. But I highlight that point to show that for some of us, I understand what it means to love people. Trust me, I get it. And I understand it's like a bad relationship. You get into a relationship, you're excited. You want the whole world to think you found your perfect person, right? You introduce them to the kids. You introduce them to the family. You're thinking, oh my God, this is it. And because you've yelled it so loud and stood on it so strong, it's hard to look back 3 or 4 months later, if that, to realize, wait a minute, I think I might have misjudged this situation. And now to have to go back to explain to everybody that you love so much about how awesome this person was, that they weren't who you thought they were, right? So it's a hard place to be. But let me be clear, and this is very important point. That person who brings 5 people to an opportunity, who's concerned now to have to go back and explain to that 5 people how they feel they've made a mistake, and they're afraid that 2 or 3 of those people may never follow them again, may lose faith in them. That is a lot harder when you're at the top or the leader of a group. It is a lot harder. It is not something that's just done on a fly. Let me just be clear, because let me just show you numbers, right? Numbers don't lie. If I have a group in a company and I'm making $10,000 a month, and then there's time to decide to make a decision to move, I'm not going to lose 4 or 5 people. I'm not going to lose 3 people that trusted me so much and believed in me so much, and now they don't want to follow me. No, I'm about to lose hundreds of people. There are hundreds of people every time. You're going to lose 1/3 to 1/2 of your organization. That's the number. So what does that mean? Your income is going to go from $10,000 a month. If you're lucky, if you go into a new build, you're going in there at about $2,000 a month. Your income completely disappears because everybody will not follow you. It never works that way. So it is a difficult decision to make. But what I know, it's like pulling a tooth, right? And I'll use this one point. I remember we went from one company, my first company, and we went into the new one. And I had 804 people. Part of that is I really love helping people. So I had built this thing all wrong. I was building it in a way to help others and not really help myself to hit certain ranks. It's a very important point because in that transition, I lost 350 people. From 804, I lost 350, a little more than that, out the gate. That was from launch. But it was one of the greatest moments of my career. It was one of the greatest moments of my career. It was my real first harsh lesson in network marketing. Why? Because what I lost was a lot of the people who really didn't have the faith anyway. What I lost was all those people calling me. Imagine 300 and something people. I'm just giving those as the numbers. Who's constantly calling, complaining, it doesn't work. They can't do. Hey, man, I spent so much time dealing with that group that I had not had enough time to deal with the ones who wanted, who were working, who were looking for a pathway forward. So having made that shift, it left me more time to work with those who did want it, who were focused. Man, look, I hit 10K in, I think, 10 days. So I lost a bunch of people, shot through the ranks, life changed. Everybody was excited and explosive. Timing matters. You don't want to overthink a moment like this, right? So, and let me dive right into that point. Again, I've had some successes in this industry. Gratefully, I'm very gracious for that. But, I heard Shantae say, oh, you can go from Yale or from jail. In this industry, nobody cares. Nobody cares. Nobody cares what you're going through. I was just launched a company, and in the midst of the launch, my sister passed away. I mentioned it one time in passing on a Zoom call. I didn't say, oh my God, my sister's passed away. I won't be available for a couple of weeks. I need to process this. Oh, no. There's nothing that can be done about the absolute. It may sound harsh, but I got a group of people who are counting on me, who need me. What they don't need me to do is find the excuse not to be present, right? And that's where it starts. It's like a general in a war. Yeah, he's going to be heartbroken about what takes place on that battlefield. But he can't say, well, we lost 50 troops. I'm going to need some time to process this, right? He's got to get up, put those boots on, and he got to stand at that mic and give the next order. Because he has other men that are counting on him. And that's what it takes. This is business. Yes, it's the second highest paid profession in America. No, it doesn't just happen on its own. You don't just, sign up, purchase a package, sit there and get rich. You don't open a donut shop that way and think you're just, everybody's going to come running. There are certain things that you just have to do. And I like to teach and train people on what to do, because my success, and those who know me know I'm very passionate about my team, right? Look, if I get into a company or situation and I look behind the curtain and I see something that ain't right, Wesley's going to call you on it straight up. I don't play. I like it to be fair and equal, to give everybody a chance to win. Is everybody going to win? Well, it depends. You right? We've all been punched in life. We've all been through some things. Some of us ball up and beg not to be punched anymore, right? Some of us get punched and it's going to be a fight. Who are you? I always say this industry is almost like, it's like getting stuck on the freeway, right? Side of the freeway at the middle of the night, and your car breaks down. That's us. We all get into that situation. We all get in our dark tunnels of life. Some, and I call them the pity party, they love the dark tunnel. They want people to come into the dark tunnel. Hey, I'm going through a darkness in my life right now. And they want people to come in and comfort them in that. Oh my God, that's just so bad for you. I wish that I could help you. That people yearn for that. They don't even realize it, right? And if you don't come into the dark tunnel, something's wrong with you. You didn't come in to comfort me. Then you don't care about me, right? But I always say the brightest light is at the end of the darkest tunnel. See, I'm not going to come in here and comfort you. What I'm going to do is I'm going to yell and give you an opportunity to find my voice and get the heck out that tunnel. Because the brightest light is at the end of the darkest tunnel. I need you to walk into your victory. I'm not going to comfort you in your pity party. That's not the path to success. Having said that, my goal has always been, how do I help the people at the bottom of the comp plan? My very first group text message was if I could show you a way how you could spend, and in this case, it was $99 today, and you could turn it into $500 a month. Basically, the cost of your car note, right? Every month. Would that interest you? And I would have my team send that thing out. If they get a response says yes, call me. I think we signed up, I think it was 87 people in 2 days, right? It just went crazy. Phones went bananas because that's the goal. If I can show you how to make your life just a little easier, show you the light, give you that hunger, then it's on you. So I like to really dive in, and I really like to help people. And I know I'm rambling a little bit. I'm talking about a little bit of this and that, a little bit of that. But the point of the matter is this. You know, network marketing is a very awesome opportunity. Nobody cares about your past. I use the analogy of, you know, the stalled car at the side of the road. Too often, we'll sit there and put the flashers on, and then we'll call everybody we know. Oh my God, you won't believe what just happened. We want the world to know we're in a moment of tragedy, right? Like, what they gonna do? You called your friend way across the country in the middle of the night. Hey, I'm stuck on the side. The difference is you get out that car, you're pushing that car, you're stuck in the middle of nowhere, right? Is it going to be easy to push that car, that mud? No. But you understand that if you do not push that car out that mud, then you're going to be stuck. So your why, right? Like the woman who goes and pulls the car for a child, your why is big enough. The point of the matter is, and I'll escalate this point, is the more you do for yourself, you get out that car, you start pushing. Somebody else is going to jump out and start to try to help you because they see you helping yourself. Next thing you know, somebody else has stopped. And then again, now that car kickstarts and you're back on the road. It does not happen without effort. It definitely takes work, but that is network marketing. Next thing you know, your life just goes crazy. The income will match your energy. So what you decide to put into this will definitely determine your future. So with that said, I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up. I hope I've shared a tidbit of truth. But, you know, one thing for me, I'm not big on excuses. We've all been through things, right? But it's not what we've been through that defines us. What do you want for your life? And how hard are you willing to work for it? I hope I've helped to serve some enlightenment to really say, man, honestly, I know it's a cliche, but if I can do it, anybody can. Like, there's no excuse. It does take work, but the change is powerful. So I thank you all for joining. And with that, I don't know what just happened. I was going to introduce Mr. Ray Davis, but I think I might have just ended. All right. But that was just it. And next speaker up will be Ray Davis at the top of the hour. And I hope you guys will tune in to hear the next powerful presentation. I believe that's it. Thanks so much.